Alright, we got Luka is coming for revenge. Be sure to subscribe if you like the video.
Transformations. As empty as they are inevitable. With every new season comes the barrage of new clips, videos, photos of players looking slimmer, players looking absolutely jacked,
True.
jump shots looking nicer, and fans getting
Ben
hyped
Simmons
up on the idea
jump
of
shot
a new
looking
and improved
nicer.
version of their
Man, this
favorite
nigga's a
player. Fool me
bro.
once, shame on you. Fool me twice.
I don't know if Ben Simmons somehow not only pissed me off in real life, but even in 2K25, this dude pissed me off, bro. I don't know how that happened, bro. The dev definitely know what they were doing.
The latest member of this off-season tradition, recently going through a transformation of his own. He's lost weight, overhauled his diet, put down the basketball altogether to focus on getting in peak physical form. The same exact routine we have grown all too familiar with.
Facts.
But this transformation feels different. It feels personal. 6 months ago, the Mavericks did the unthinkable by turning their backs on the future of their franchise. And in response, Luka isn't just getting into shape. He wants more than to just study film or work on his jump shot. He wants revenge.
Hey, man. Hopefully we can.
Today's video is brought to you by
But they're gonna lose to the Shea Gorgeous Alexander, respectfully. I'm just saying, bro. All this to lose to Gorgeous Alexander, bro. It's all good, though. Bust this hair real quick.
Drastic transformation of Luka Doncic over the last 3 months. In the article, Luka talks about the sacrifices he's made to hopefully take his body and game to the next level. Details that include him beginning his off-season training program the day after the Lakers were eliminated from the playoffs.
Damn.
By months of fasting,
He playing the Euro
more
too.
time to rest than any other point in his career. And
couple of games.
A 1-month stretch where he stopped playing basketball altogether to focus on weight training and other sports to get his mind and body off the court and focused on his overall fitness. And immediately following this news came the hype of skinny Luka.
Do you even recognize the person on the cover?
Showing off his slimmer physique.
Hey, but I'm happy, bro.
Issue of men's
But I saw some people saying, like, what are you doing now that you got traded from the Mavericks? Why couldn't you do that when you were playing with the Mavericks and all that? And that's a good point, you know, as much as I fuck with Luka, that's true. Why didn't you do it with Mavericks? But what did you have to get traded and betrayed to do the best for you, your organization? I guess we never know the answer for that, but that's true, though. I can't blame people for saying that.
Summer of training and lots of protein, he's poised to take his game and the Lakers to another level.
But we've seen this.
But again, sometimes you just need, you know, kind of event in your life to make you change, you know, as much, you know, it's just all life is.
Not just from other players,
Sometimes you need
but from
events like
Luka
situation
himself,
like that to change your
time
life around,
and
you know.
time and time again. So why would things be any different this time? Because I believe Luka's commitment to his health and conditioning over the last few months actually has little to do with his body and more to do with his mind. The real transformation here isn't in his weight or his conditioning, it's between his ears. For the last 6 months, Luka has been a ticking time bomb. His abilities as a leader were questioned, his work ethic and his drive were put up for debate in front of the whole world. The Mavericks traded Luka because they felt not only was he out of shape, but that he would never get into shape. They felt he wasn't taking his conditioning seriously, and his lack of discipline was essentially a death sentence to any hopes the Mavs had at ever winning a title with him leading their team. Comments that are just as wild today as they were at the time, and probably should have stayed in private, but from their perspective were legitimate concerns. In the following months, Dallas got AD, they landed with the #1 overall pick, which is suspicious, and they landed on Cooper Flag.
You know, stage
in Dallas considering their monstrosity of a decision. But the one thing Dallas forgot to factor into their grand plan, there is nothing Luka Doncic loves more than revenge. This is the same man who embarrassed a 64-win Suns.
That's true, bro. Look at, he's a petty man. He really is a petty man.
Entire time because they got a little too confident. This is the same man who put the Defensive Player of the Year on an island, walked him down for a game winner, and told him he couldn't guard him.
Gobert, bro.
Because of one hard foul.
Whoa.
He dropped a 50-piece on the Pistons.
The hell is wrong with you, Gobert? That's why nobody like you, bro.
Said a few things he didn't like.
It seems like there was a little extra chirping going on with the bench tonight. Did that impact
it was their assistant coach. He started chirping in the first quarter. So they didn't like when I chirped back. Now they said play basketball.
Bro, I had no idea Luka talk like this. What the fuck? Bro, I thought you had an accent and everything, bro. What the hell happened, bro?
They're gonna chirp
Every snide remark, every unsightly gesture comes a
Okay.
Luka masterclass as a result
Okay,
of an
Luka.
unfortunate soul who thought it was a good idea to cross him. You want to take a wild guess at who he scored the most points against last season? That's right. The man knows how to hold a grudge. This, my friends,
He does,
is
bro.
not
He's a
coincidence.
petty man, like I
And
said,
neither
bro.
is Luka getting into the best shape of his life this offseason. After 7 years in the NBA,
Man, I
and
feel
refusing
bad
to take his
for
health and conditioning seriously, Luka
what's that
literally did
dude name?
exactly what the
That
man said
rookie?
he would never do, and got into the best
Man.
shape of his life purely out of spite. Which leads me to believe this is not your typical off-season transformation. This is a man who is out for revenge, and like the greats that came before him, is prepared to not just change his game, but change his entire approach on the game. Back in 2011, after losing to Dallas in the finals, LeBron James was at a crossroads in his career. He was definitively the best player in the world by this point. His game looked sharp, it looked complete, he was better than ever. And yet, something was still clearly missing. And it was in the following offseason where he found that missing piece. He sought training from Akeem Olajuwon to expand his post game. He spent more time studying his decision making on the court. And
Let's talk about Wemby though. Yo, Wemby went to the Monk. He started training with the, you know what I'm saying, with KG. I think Wemby might come back crazy too. I ain't gonna
finding
lie.
ways to improve it. And of course, he transformed his body to handle the more inside-out game he would deploy.
And
in the
Wemby and
following
Luka,
season.
they out for
The
blood,
transformation,
bro. I can
although
tell.
visible on the outside, was happening inside. How he saw the game, how he led his team, his resilience in tough moments, and the sacrifices.
I want
he was
Luka
willing
to win the
make in order
MVP.
to win. A transformation motivated by the shortcomings and criticism.
He should have won it last season,
leading up
but
to that point, and a shift in perspective that many all-time greats
I
have
mean,
had to
the
face
season
and
when
overcome. Michael Jordan's
Celtics won the
moment came in
championship,
summer of 1990, after
he was
getting
going
beat
crazy
down by
that
the
season.
Pistons, searching for an answer to get over the hump. His answer came in the form of spending countless hours in the weight room, putting on 15 pounds in the offseason to handle the physicality teams were throwing at him, and a newfound willingness to adapt his game to a new system and coach that knew it could work, but only if Michael bought into it. Kareem's moment came after a 7-year championship drought, where he had to embrace the idea.
and the end of the day, we're gonna see if
player,
Luka
but
really
being a
like
great
that.
leader,
You feel me?
inspired
In a
by
couple of
young,
months,
exuberant
in October.
rookie who virtually gave him no other choice. Some of these turning points are more public, more intentional. Others are stumbled upon in pursuit of greatness. But all of them weren't just transformations of game, but a transformation of how they approach the game.
You see how Kobe didn't need to do that? Because he already was doing this since the beginning. That's how great Kobe is. I'm telling you, bro.
Constant criticism about his work ethic and conditioning, Shaq's moment came in the summer of 1999. With Phil Jackson as the new coach in LA, Shaq showed up in the best shape of his life, leaned into the triangle offense, and for the first time, fully bought into not just dominating, but winning. The transformation was visible in his body, but the change that really mattered happened to his mind. For Kobe, his moment came at rock bottom, with the departure of Shaq and missing the
What?
playoffs entirely in 2005.
Damn, I said all that was
He began
false.
to reshape not just his body, but his
Oh, that was the
identity as a
okay.
leader.
That was the
A
second
transformation
awakening.
that
That's
brought
why.
on a completely new era
Still
in
valid,
Kobe's
though.
career. As Kobe said at the time, his number changed, but the real shift happened in his mindset. He learned how to elevate teammates rather than just outscore opponents. A change that gave Kobe the tools to lead his team in ways
Okay.
that never quite showed up in the box score.
Makes
All of these
sense.
players, despite their game-breaking abilities and undeniable impact on the game, had to face the uncomfortable reality that if they wanted to win, something needed to change. A reality that Luka is facing at this moment in his career in more
He
ways
looks
than
so
one.
much so different, bro.
Jokic, Giannis, Shea, Embiid, Tatum. What do all of these players have in common? They are all generational talents of the current NBA era, but they also
Embiid though is questionable. I ain't gonna lie. Embiid is questionable, bro. You know what? All the difference and all those players has, they all have a ring before, except Embiid, bro. I'm just saying, they all have a ring, but no Embiid.
all of these players have won at least
Embiid need to work a little bit harder. He need to be more. I feel like for Embiid, he need to be just more LT. That's really why we're running him, and maybe his work ethic a little bit.
one of these milestone awards through the first 8 seasons of their career. MVP, Finals MVP, and or a championship. The only generational talent at the moment who hasn't is Luka. In fact,
Facts.
almost
That's
8 seasons of their
true.
career.
That's
MVP,
true.
Finals MVP,
I never
and
thought
or a
about that.
championship. The only generational talent at the moment who hasn't is Luka. In fact, almost without exception, every all-time great modern player stamped their legacy with at least one of these benchmark achievements that separate great players from all-time great players by the end of their 8th season in the
It's
league.
crazy shit got this
With
shit
many
all
of these
one season.
awards,
What
by
the
this
fuck?
point, nearing about the halfway mark
The
of
more you
players'
think about it, the more
truly
it's crazy.
transcendent players are well on their way to checking off these accomplishments. And in terms of talent, impact, and numbers, Luka should be in this class by now. That has not only
Facts.
been the expectation, but the trajectory he's been on for the past half-decade. But
True.
he has yet to achieve any of these accomplishments going into his 8th season.
But I ain't gonna lie, he did get robbed, bro. He should have won in 2023? He should have won the 2023 year. He won for 71 points, triple double, some shit like that. Bro, he should have won the MVP, but they gave it to Jokic, bro. I'm just keeping it a buck.
Luka just had to sit by and watch his own draft classmate pull off a historic run. MVP, Finals MVP, and a championship in the same season. All while Luka was being told he didn't even have what it takes to lead a team to a championship. The man is watching his peers take over the NBA and cement their legacies right in front of his eyes. Pair
That's
that
true,
with the
bro.
doubt and ridicule the Mavericks have shown him, and a man who has sought revenge for a whole lot less.
Man, that's
And here's the
facts.
recipe for what may just
I really hope Luka get a ring in the MVP. That's all I want for him, to be honest.
be a real transformation, fueled by failure and an unwavering desire to get
Joke
even.
aside, I really wish you get it. We'll see, though.